For the first time in 2 decades, the Indies will take center stage at one of the most tradition-rich tracks in the country. The Versus Monster Trucks are home at West Leb, and along with a few close friends, these mean machines are about to make some thunder in the Lebanon Valley. Looking down US 20 in a beautiful part of the country, the scenic views of the Taconic and Catskill Mountains. We are at the Lebanon Valley Speedway in West Lebanon, New York. This legendary facility has hosted more than its share of monster truck events over the past few decades, but a new player in the promoter community, Versus Monster Trucks, has brought 6 of the best, 5 of the best from the Northeast, and 1 from just south of the Mason-Dixon to do battle here at the Lebanon Valley Speedway. Straight line racing as always, and it should be super fast, but they're not alone. It's monsters versus megas this weekend. A slew of some of the best mega trucks from the Northeast have shown up to compete for the title, not only of #1 in the mega truck side-by-side racing, but the winner of the mega trucks class has to take on the winner from the monster trucks. We'll see who ends up in the #1 spot at the end of it all. And another development, there is a massive storm system sitting just outside of the valley right now. Hopefully it does not move in and dump on us, but there always seems to be rain when the monster trucks come to town here at the Lebanon Valley Speedway. And one of the biggest problems with that is the surface is so hard packed, it doesn't usually develop into a real sticky mud. Rather, it develops into a sort of slate-like surface. It's ultra slippery. Here you see the first round. 3 pairings, 6 trucks, Crazy Train and Plain Crazy, the Robbins brothers from right here in the state of New York, will take on each other in round #1, and it'll be Bad News Travels Fast, the lone truck from the south. That's Brandon Darrow taking on Greg Wichitbach, the fan favorite Crush Station from the state of Maine, and then Stephen Thompson, a hard-charging Stephen Thompson driving Tim Mente's Hurricane Force, that awesome-looking 68 Ford, will take on the Lumberjack. As we get ready for our first pairing in round #1. Supposed to be our first pairing in round #1, but Montana Robbins has yet to make the starting line. In fact, he had to be towed off the track after the pit party. He's sitting down right now in turn #2 as you look down the track, and it looks like he will not, in fact, make round #1, so it's going to be a single for his brother Triton. May have been a bye run, but he made the most of it. A 7.84 second run. He slides around there in the shutdown there. You can see how slick this track already is with no water on it. Again, this surface is super hard packed. Notorious for some wild finishes when it's dry. It gets even worse when it's wet. Again, hopefully we don't get that rain here tonight, as Greg Wichitbach out of the state of Maine rolls up in Crush Station. He's going to take on Brandon Darrow out of Elkton, Virginia, and that wild-looking bow tie Bad News Travels Fast. The second generation of drivers to take over that machine, although not in the family, as he and his father purchased that from Florida's Bruce Haney back in 2012. He's going to try to go against one of the bad boys in the field, Greg Wichitbach and the Monster Lobster. 7.14 for the Lobster as he blisters the track. Any lead that Darrow had off the starting line, you can see a little bit of an edge to him right there, but too much hang time over that second jump. Wichitbach getting the truck on the ground, putting the horsepower down in no man's land and blasting over the finish line. Darrow hopefully can get back in as the fast losers. You see the clouds forming around turn #4 back there over the Taconic Parkway in the background. About 15 minutes off the Massachusetts border here, so they're already getting that weather. Is the Lumberjack now. Chris Sawicki driver out of Massachusetts, driving the big black GMC out of Maine, takes on the Maryland Ford Hurricane Force. Both of them a little tentative off the starting line, but Stephen Thompson going to get the better of those two runs at a 7.96 second run, so that pairing nowhere near as fast as our first two winners in round number one. And you saw Lumberjack was way off the pace, and that means Bad News Travels Fast should be coming back as our fast loser in the semifinal round of Monster Trucks. We are just getting things started here at Lebanon Valley. The Megas take to the track next. Don't go anywhere. A huge field of Megas hits the front stretch when we come back.
This Back Channel Productions program is brought to you in part by Monsters Monthly. For up-to-date show, ticket info, and a wide selection of photo and video galleries, visit monstersmonthly.com. And by RPM Army, featuring action-packed content from around the web. Visit rpmarmy.com, your source for motorsports on the go. This Back Channel Productions program is brought to you in part by Crush This. For an inside look at the world of monster trucks, check out Crush This, available on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube.
Back at the Lebanon Valley Speedway in West Lebanon, New York, there you see the cloud cover starting to hover over the speedway, the sun going away on the mountainside, and we are just waiting to see if the rain comes down on top of us as we get ready for round number one. Side-by-side Mega Truck Racing. 12 of them in the field, 6 pairings. In round number one, John Gerlach's Tornado taking on Pat Brophy in Angus. Both those guys out of Massachusetts. Then it's Dirty Jersey against Just Showing Off. That should be an awesome Ford Chevy matchup in round number one. And then what should be one of the fastest matchups of round one, Hired Gun takes on Wanted. Dirty 30 taking on Pyronol. Then the brand new Gladiator taking on Shop Truck. And then we'll wrap it up with an interesting matchup between Suburban and Strictly Business. Two big, heavy machines in that final race. A diesel in that matchup in Strictly Business. Right now, they'll roll into the starting line. The old classic from the 70s, John Gerlach in Tornado. That truck has a storied history. He goes up against Pat Brophy in Angus, the late model black Chevy. And there you see Gerlach getting a lurch off the starting line. He locked it up and got it stopped, so it doesn't look like they're going to call him for jumping the start. And he put the power to it. No man's land. Gerlach will be moving on, it looks like, unless they call him for that lurch on the starting line, but I don't believe they will, as our next pairing gets ready to head down to the starting line here out of the pit lane. That beautiful Just Showing Off Ford headed that way right now. We're going to take a look back at the run you just saw. Gerlach, in fact, will move on to the next round. As I said, he got it locked up on the starting line, didn't have to worry about being called for jumping the start. Look at that. Angus was out in front into the second no man's land, but Gerlach, with parts flying off, was able to get the power to the ground. That short wheelbase Chevy from the 70s still has quite a bit of life left in it right now, as Dave Reiner out of Morris, Connecticut takes on Bobby Sage out of Hainesport, New Jersey. Dirty Jersey, that orange Chevy S10 there in the right lane to the left of your screen. Pick your favorite Ford and Chevy here in round one. Sounded like something might be going away in the blue Ford in the left lane. Not the run he was hoping for. He's going to take that thing back to the pits and get it ready for tomorrow night, as Dirty Jersey will return in round number two. There you see the Hired Gun rolling toward the starting line. Going to go side by side with Wanted Kenny Bigelow out of Lewis, New York. A battle of Empire Flyers right here as the Argyle, New York Hired Gun Elijah Dallaire comes to stage. Fans absolutely loved this pair of trucks during the pit party. These guys hanging out with their fans earlier tonight. A lot of these Mega guys were happy to see that the fans came out to see them too. A lot of people interested to see how these Mega trucks handle in this monster truck style bracket here in the front stretch of West Lebanon. A big stage for these guys as this pair takes off. Wanted, gonna get to the finish line first, but he will be disqualified for missing the last ramp, as was obvious. The hired gun will move on into the second round of Mega Truck Racing. You get another look at it. You see Wanted had a good run, but he pitched off to the left and wisely drove around the ramp. He could have gotten a lot of trouble if he hit that ramp full throttle with only 2 wheels. Now, the wild man, Mike Stodden in Pyronol. It's a little short wheelbase, short box Chevy there to the right of your screen, taking on Tim Manny in the super quick Dirty 30. And Stodden drives away way too early. That short Chevy laid down quite a run, but it was all for naught. Dirty 30 going to go on into the next round as Stodden, well, he left the starting line like 10 seconds before the light went. That's a shame. A lot of people wanted to see how he was going to do against Tim Manny, but it's not going to happen here tonight. Wild Little Machine's going to have to wait for Freestyle to show off in front of the crowd here. He'll have another shot tomorrow night to show his stuff in racing. Definitely a tough truck in this bracket of Megas. There you see the brand new Gladiator. No front doghouse on that Ranger as he rolls into the starting line. Of course, that truck out of Pittsfield, Massachusetts, that's Matt Fenwick. He takes on the shop truck. That's Adam Wemple out of Fonda, New York. Another Ford Chevrolet matchup here in round number 1. Shop truck smoking down at the end. Whipple seems to think he got that win. We don't know who got that win yet. Maybe a little edge to shop truck, but did he hit the last ramp with both front tires? We're going to get another look at it. Tell you what, Fenwick was working that steering wheel to keep that thing in line. A lot of bounce in the rear end. And Shop Truck just barely hanging on to it. He will pick up the victory. 1/100th of a second separated those guys at the finish line. And Whipple obviously knew he was first across the line, but man, one more look from the end, and you can see he caught just enough of that ramp to keep it legal. He was so close to going out of bounds there. The 2-and-2 rule still in effect for the Megas. Now, the big green diesel-powered Chevy there to the right of your screen in the left lane. That is strictly business. Kyle Rainey out of Wallingford, Connecticut, taking on the Suburban. Arlo Palmer out of Pink Hills, North Carolina, by way of Seneca Falls, New York. Another Empire rider coming up from south of the Mason-Dixon, returning home to show off in front of the home state folks. He's not going to go on to the next round as strictly business. Clearly walked away with that one, but he still got to show off. He was giving the crowd rides earlier during the pit party. They were happy to see him out here on the racetrack. We are not even close to done, though. We've got plenty more coming up with round 2 of our Mega Trucks and the Monster Trucks semi-final round racing when we come back to the Lebanon Valley Speedway. Stay with us.
Hey, welcome to Wild Man Adventures. First the Silver Lake Sand Dragway. There really wasn't any off-roading back then. It was all off-road. We're on our way to Lima, Ohio. Got wooden wheels.
Oh, it's slippery as all get out of.
Hey, we're here with Rich Cummins. Hey, we're here with Mike Potter.
Hey, we're here with Alan Pizzo.
Gotta check it out. This week we're gonna go down memory lane.
Back at the Lebanon Valley Speedway in West Lebanon, New York, as Montana Robbins playing crazy gets towed back to get ready for freestyle. Hopefully he'll be able to make a showing there as Dirty Jersey rolls out for the quarterfinal round of Mega Truck Racing. He'll take on John Gerlach in Tornado, a Chevy matchup. It'll be Dirty 30 against Hired Gun, and maybe a lopsided matchup in this Second round of racing, his shop truck takes on Strictly Business. We'll see if the Big Diesel can outrun Adam Wimple's shop truck. Right now, John Gerlach, who's kind of the surprise of round one, takes on Dirty Jersey. You can see a little sprinkle starting to come down there from our starting line cam. Dirty Jersey way out front, but he missed the last ramp. Gerlach gonna go on again. I don't want to say he's living a charmed life because he's having a race. You can see the grill actually popped out, kind of hanging off the front of the hood there. Gerlach putting a foot to that old Chevrolet, making it fly here tonight. You can see Dirty Jersey had to measure him by a long shot, but got out of shape, had to back out of it, and could not get the front tires up and over the ramp. I'll tell you what, even with the loss of speed he had, if he could have made that illegal run, he might have been able to pull off a close victory there as the hired gun now sits on the starting line to take on Tim Manny in Dirty 30. Elijah Dallaire out of Argyle, New York, taking on the lone Keystone flyer in the field. That's Tim Manny. Solid pair of runs right there. Tim Manny and Dirty 30 looking good right now here in the second round of Mega Truck Racing. We're going to get another look at that matchup. 7.06 seconds, by the way, is now the fastest time on this track. So he bettered the run that we saw earlier laid down by Greg Winchenbach in Crush Station. So the Megas have the fast time on the track now as our final matchup here in round number 2 gets underway, and the rain is picking up a little bit. Shop truck Adam Wimple taking on Strictly Business. Kyle Rainey, the diesel-powered Chevrolet, and he gets left at the starting line. Wimple smoking again. Doesn't seem to be hurt, and that's the alcohol-powered machine is smoking more than the diesel, but it will be the racing fuel-powered Chevrolet going into the semifinal round. Wimple moving on as he left a trail of smoke behind him. We now look at our semifinal round bracket in the monster trucks. There you see Crazy Train going up against your fast loser. Bad News Travels Fast. That'll be Triton Robbins and Brandon Darrow. And it'll be Crush Station, Greg Winchenbach, hopefully going up against Hurricane Force as they are having electrical problems right now with Stephen Thompson and Tim Mente's Hurricane Force Ford. And the rain is pouring. As you can see clearly from our end zone camera, it's about to get real interesting in that shutdown area, to say the least. You can see there's still some dust on the pit lane, but this track is getting wet real quick. Had to see here two very fast machines in the monster truck racing community, probably two of the most consistent independents on the circuit today. Brandon Darrow out of Elkton, Virginia, one of the Old Dominion's favorite sons, taking over this machine. Bad News Travels Faster on the left-hand side of the track, going up against the Eddie Imagka chassis machine out of the state of New York, the Empire Flyer Crazy Train. An edge to Robbins going into the final jump. Crazy Train moving on to the final round of the monster truck bracket. Look at him trying to stop down there on the top end of the track as they get up into turn number 1. That shutdown area is only going to get worse. Take another look at the race between those two, and you can see right there Darrow picking up the front end and trying to get the power to the ground on only the rear tires on a slick track is just not going to work for you, even with those big digging Firestones on the back. And it looks like right now we only have one truck on the starting line. We are going to get a single here. Our other semifinal round matchup, Greg Winchenbach in Crush Station. He staged Stephen Thompson, ran out of time to make the starting line. In fact, didn't even put him on a 5-minute clock as Thompson went ahead and said he'd get the truck ready for freestyle. As Winchenbach will move on to take on Triton Robbins and Crazy Train, and he's having a ton of trouble getting that thing shut down as he slides up toward our end zone camera. Watch that again, and you can see he was barely able to keep that thing on course on that high bank. It's wanting to drag the truck down to the center. Good driving for the man out of Maine. You can see they're really not picking up much mud on the tires. Again, that is how hard-packed this racing surface is, as Witchenbach takes it back into the pit lane. He's going to wait for Triton Robbins to roll out here for this championship race in the monster truck bracket. Crazy Train out of New York, the Empire Flyer, taking on the man from Maine, the Monster Lobster. It's going to be the Locomotive versus the Lobster here in the final round. Witchenbach going onto the low side. He had the fast time. He gets lane choice, and I think that's a very wise decision. Even though that lane has not seemed to favor these guys over the second jump, I don't believe he wants to fight this slick track from the top side. There you see Triton Robbins, who will have to deal with that top side lane. We'll see how he does up there. He's been fast tonight, but Witchenbach has been faster. Got to throw those times out the window, though, because they're dealing with a completely different track, and the helmet has just come off in the cab of Crazy Train. He will not make the starting line. Crazy Train is out, and it doesn't look like they're going to pull another truck in. They want to get the round over with before the rain gets any worse, because a big storm is still supposed to roll in here tonight. It looks like we're going to get a single in the final round. It's not over yet, though. Remember, if Witchenbach wins this, he has to take on the winner of the Megatruck bracket. Has the lane he wants. He's going to get to test it out. You can see it's still pulling him off to the left-hand side. He's got a little bit of dry dirt there and a big launch across the finish line. Witchenbach not winning the bracket the way he wanted to as he tries to get the truck shut down on the top end of the track, although it's a lot easier from that end. Look at how far he's sliding. Just creeping on down to get behind the garbage truck. That is not the way that either of those guys wanted that final round to go. He'll take a win any way he can get it, but I guarantee you he wanted to knock that kid out in the final round. Greg is going to roll on back into the pit area and get ready for the big matchup. He will take on the winner of our Megatrucks bracket as the loader heads out to the front stretch to retrieve the Crazy Train. The Megas headed back toward the starting line. The final pairing when we come back to the Lebanon Valley Speedway. Stay with us. Back at the Lebanon Valley Speedway in West Lebanon, New York, our final pair in our mega truck bracket, trying to make it to the starting line as the wet track definitely is taking its toll on just getting these guys staged. Before we get into this final round matchup, we're going to show you how Tim Manny got here. He had to knock out Adam Whipple in the shop truck in the semifinal round. You can see neither one of these guys had it easy going, but watch the top end charge for Tim Manny. Almost got himself in some trouble, and then they come 1-2 through the shutdown area as Whipple tries not to get into the back of Manny. Hired Gun got a buy run into this round, and there they are on the starting line as our stager tries not to fall down. Not running so fast off that starting line now. Tim Manny and Elijah Dallaire, and Dallaire in big trouble. Manny will take a wild victory right there. Almost got himself on his top. What a finish. Dirty 30. Counter steering his way over that final jump. Watch it again. Wild finish for Dirty 30. He's not done though. He's got to come back and hit the track again, this time against Greg Witchenbach in Crush Station. Manny headed right back to the starting line to do exactly that. There you see the Monster Lobster staging up right now, wants to make sure he is straight for that second jump. He comes all the way over that first roller. to get himself set in that lane, and he took that bottom lane. He didn't care if he had lane choice or not. Manny actually had the faster of the times going into this final race, but Witchenbach was already sitting up on that end of the track and said, I'm not going into that top lane. So Manny gonna have to work hard if he wants this win. Look at this. Just trying to back the truck off the line to straighten it up a little bit was a task in and of itself, even with the big lugs on those tractor tires. Now, he may have an advantage here because his truck's built to run in the mud, but there's not really a lot of mud to get a hold of, as I've been saying. So, it's kind of anybody's guess on which way this race is going to go, but Witchenbach at least has the lane he wants to be in. We'll see what Manny can do on that top side. Dirty 30 against Crush Station. The Pennsylvania Mega against the Maine Monster. Witchenbach with a huge lead coming out. It will go to Dirty 30. It was not pretty as they both worked to get the truck shut down. Look at Manny celebrating in the cockpit. I cannot believe he took his hands off the steering wheel. Gets it shut down quick. Witchenbach knows he got beat. He's going to head right back into the pit area. What a victory for the Mega out of Pennsylvania. Look at this. Witchenbach had drier dirt and had the lead, but he got so out of shape, Manny just stayed in the throttle. He comes across the final jump sideways. Both those guys doing a lot of work to keep their trucks out of each other and out of the wall, and a big celebration down here in the Mega pits. Dirty 30 taking the win, getting into the wall right there. What a run by Tim Manny, and you got to tip your hat again to both of those guys. That finish could have gotten a lot worse. Manny comes out to salute the crowd here at Lebanon Valley Speedway. The truck's smoking. He has run so many runs back to back. And we are going to take one more look at that run from the end zone. Here it is. It wasn't pretty, but the win will go to the man in the top lane.
Running against one of the biggest monster names in the business across Asia. What do you think, Ted?
It's pretty unbelievable to be out here in front of all you guys racing monster trucks. That's every kid's dream. That was my dream. It's wild. This is unbelievable. I still don't really believe this.
Who do you want to thank back home that got you here tonight?
I want to thank everybody, all one of my awesome sponsors, all my friends back there, my parents are in the crowd somewhere. Thank you guys. Love you. Thank all you fans, and I thank every opportunity I've had to get to live my dream and do this in front of everybody. So thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner tonight for Dirty 32,
Well, Monsters versus Megas wins tonight, but there's always tomorrow for us to get even, sunshine.
Well, ready, bring it on.
We are back at the Lebanon Valley Speedway. Look at highlights from earlier action with Mega Truck Freestyle. We told you Mad Mike Stodden would be back in Pyronol. He sent it. You see the flames coming out of the headers. That'd be the last move he would make on this night. There you see Adam Whipple taking on the buses and almost taking out our crush cam right there, our starting line cam. Whipple giving the crowd their money's worth. They were just getting warmed up, though. It's tough to move around like it has been all night long on this wet track. We'll take a look at highlights now for our first few runs from Monster Truck Freestyle. Starting off the field was none other than Chris Solwicki out of Chicopee, Massachusetts, driving the big black GMC logging truck out of Jefferson, Maine, Lumberjack. Couldn't really get the run going that I know he'd like to have laid down. We've seen him do some awesome stuff this year at the wheel of this machine, but this track is ripe for donuts. Wet surface, giving him something to play with. So Wiki starting things off, setting the bar. But the guy who would come out and raise the bar is the Old Dominion's favorite son, that being Brandon Darrow out of Elkton, Virginia, in the Bad News Travels Fast Chevrolet Silverado. Not having the night he was hoping for when he and the team rolled in to the Empire State, but he definitely raised the bar. As I said, he was the first one to take on some of the larger freestyle obstacles, but he couldn't get his signature slap wheelies done with all the moisture in the dirt. Now another guy who had a far less than ideal night is this guy right here, Montana Robbins, the Empire Flyer, in Plain Crazy, suffering from electrical problems early in action, did not make the racing bracket, wanted to come back and make it up in freestyle, but the rear steering would not cooperate for the man out of Lawtons, New York. Unfortunately, his run would come to a premature end. The crowd still loved him, though. He'll be back tomorrow to put on a show now as Stephen Thompson rolls out of Hagerstown, Maryland, driving Tim Mente's Hurricane Force out of Clarksburg, Maryland. Tim, the two-truck team, normally you'll see this truck paired with Storm Damage. It's just Stephen flying solo here this weekend. Tim is here, though, I guess to offer moral support, but Tim would love to see this 68 Ford fly to victory here in the freestyle. Didn't have the run they'd like to have had in racing, but Thompson with that big Kevin Stauffer horsepower in the back of that Eddie Matchka built truck would definitely be one to get the job done here tonight in West Leb. Getting a little bit wild right there as he gets tripped up on that first roller in the race lanes. Now, we saw this truck earlier in the year, as has been common this season with everything that's happened since 2020 with the shutdowns. This truck was fielded by Tim Mecenas out in Pennsylvania earlier this year. He did a nice job with it, but it's great to see Steven back at the wheel of his own machine. Loves to get some big hang time. Not afraid to play with this thing on this slick track. Let's see what else he has left. Big hang time right there. The suspension soaking it up. This is what he came to do. And again, taking a wild ride off the backsides of the racing ramps. First one to hit the buses. It's definitely going to play in his favor, and he is moving quick right now. This is what this crowd came to see in freestyle, that big hang time, these high-speed passes down this front straightaway, and another big launch over that jammer stack. Look at that, the mega guys love it. Thompson definitely raising the bar. I'd say, if anything, he's taking the lead. Keeping the momentum up, keeping the truck moving, getting wild. Got himself in a bind right there over by the wall. See what he's got left. Looks like he may have a little steering problem. Stephen Thompson and Hurricane Force gonna wrap it up right there. You see him throw the belts off. He's going to pop out now to the cheer of the crowd. We're going to take a look at a couple of highlights. As I said, the first one to go over the double buses. This track has never seen freestyle obstacles like this on the front stretch. Steve Perry and crew pulling out the stops for this one. There's one obstacle they're not going to be able to hit tonight, unfortunately. You're going to want to tune in next time for night number 2 here on hopefully a drier track, because there is a backflip ramp on this track now as Triton Robbins rolls out of Lawtons, New York, and he goes right for the big bus. Trying to make up for his loss in racing. He wasn't even able to start in the final round. He would love to have been the guy to go after Tim Manny as the representative for the monster truck fraternity. Hitting all the big stuff right out of the gate. He is wasting no time here in West Lebanon, showing off for the home state folks. Right back to the buses. This is definitely going to play in his favor. He is going move to move to move. And as I said, he's really only hit the big stuff. Now he's going to play with those race lanes a little bit. flipping and sliding around. And this is another one of those Eddie Matchka chassis. It's basically an identical build to his brother's truck, Plain Crazy, and what Stephen Thompson is driving, but they put their own touches on it, and it handles just like he wants to. It goes right back to the bus. Didn't line that one up at all. I don't think there's going to be anything left of that little camera we put at the starting line. I'm pretty sure he just ran it over. Right back to it again. He clears it. He lands past the downside of that ramp. Triton Robbins stepping it up. Working that thing hard. I think he may have a head gasket going away. You see all the smoke spreading across the front stretch here. Triton Robbins raising the bar in Crazy Train. I don't know if the run was quite as wild as what Stephen Thompson did, but I think the momentum might have been a little bit better. He definitely had big hang time. Hit the bus, I believe, 4 times in the run, so he is going to take the lead as our final competitor rolls out now in freestyle. Greg Wichenbach out of Jefferson, Maine, the fan favorite Crush Station, and the winning representative out of the monster truck that took on Tim Manny, as you saw earlier. He is planning on coming back tomorrow and trying to do the same, but he wants to win that race in the Monsters versus Megas Championship. Right now, though, going to turn him on here in freestyle with this brand new for 2021 Crush Station. Still trying to work the bugs out of it. Goes for a slap really right there. He actually almost got it to stand up, but as I said before, almost impossible, likely impossible, how slick this racing surface is. Wichenbach will now bring the Monster Lobster back down. The starting line end of the track, headed right for the buck. Back at it. It's been a good run so far. Wild landing right there. I don't know if he has yet matched Triton Robbins, who is sitting in the lead at the moment. Saw him dealing with some issues with the way the truck was landing earlier in the year, and he has slowly but surely seemed to work those out. Didn't line that one up at all. The crowd is loving Greg Wichenbach right now. Again, though, has not had that big hang time. Has not been able to cut out a donut here as he comes right back for the buses with some speed now. Wichenbach drying the track back out as he dug his way down to what little dry dirt there was underneath. And I'll tell you what, a lot more dust came out of there than I thought there would be with how much rain we got about 25-30 minutes ago. Again, solid run for the Lobster, but I don't think it's going to be enough to take over from Triton Robbins, and it will not be. Triton Robbins will be your freestyle champion here, night number 1, Monsters versus Megas at West Lebanon, New York's Lebanon Valley Speedway. What a night it's been with the Versus Monster Trucks. A big thank you to the Versus Monster Trucks crew and Lebanon Valley Speedway for their hospitality. We're not done here in New York, though. Next time, hopefully, a dry track, the Monsters and the Megas back at it. Don't miss it. We will see you then.